ParamountSports.com. And Lee joins us on the New Belgium Fat Tire Hotline. Lee, good morning. How are you?
Doing okay. A lot better than 2, 3, and 4 last week in the country, and this week number 5. So crazy week. How about this? It was the first time in 31 years last weekend that 3 of the top 4 teams went down in one weekend in college football. Amazing.
31 years? Unbelievable.
31 years. Yeah, and then number 5 last night. So if you think that it's clear-cut who's going to end up in the Final Four, just wait. We have a long way to go.
We do. Hey, we've asked you some fun questions about your experiences over the years. I'd like for you to, if you have one, to share with us of maybe a guy that you know or a friend that you know that won a bunch of money, either one weekend or over several weeks, and maybe something unbelievable that he bought. Like he bought a boat, or he bought a Porsche, or he bought a yacht, or he bought a condo, or he bought his girlfriend. I mean, do you have a story where you know a guy, or you spent $20,000 on a mink coat for his,
Yeah, I had a friend one time, and he would bet a lot of these big favorites. And in one weekend, I think he won like 3 or 4 big games, and most of them at the end, he had some touchdowns scored that ended up being the difference. And we're talking about like when teams might normally kneel down and take a knee. This team, a guy, running back, would bust through and run for 40, 50 yards, and he'd win. The game was over. He was so excited. He was dating this girl, and she was way above his pay grade. Way above his pay grade. I mean, looks-wise, he was about a 4 with 4 or 5 million. She was a 10 with maybe enough, maybe $50 in the bank account. But he took her on. He rented a boat, one of those speed boats, and he took it to the Bahamas and stayed there for 2 weeks with her.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome.
I don't know the name of those boats. Remember back in the 80s?
Yeah.
Miami Vice, those. I think they were Scarabs.
Absolutely.
Rented a Scarab.
Hey, Crockett and Tubbs. Man, look, I was 13 years old. That was one of my favorite shows on TV. That was awesome.
Yeah, I even had one of those white leisure suits for about 6 months.
Lee Sterling.
Didn't do me a whole lot of good, though.
Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com on the Out of Bounds show. Lee, Arkansas at Mississippi State. The line started with Arkansas point and a half. Now it's Mississippi State 2.5. Do you expect this one to go absolutely down to the wire like the last 3 have?
I think it's going to be pretty close, yeah. And the Arkansas seniors, I think they're going to be up for this game. No wins against the Bulldogs. The only carrot here left for State is the Ole Miss game, in my opinion, and possibly winning out. As at 4 and 6, it's going to be tough for them to get to a bowl. Arkansas, it just seems like they can beat the average and the bad teams, not the good ones. So State, clear couple notches down from last year when they beat Arkansas on that barn burner 51-50. I just think that Arkansas has too many weapons here, and they'll fire that last bullet here, 35-31.
Ooh, all right. So he's got the Hogs with Austin Allen taking care of business, which, hey, makes sense. Okay, what about what's going on at ParamountSports.com, Paramount Sports this weekend? What's happening?
Well, we're going to continue with not November, but November. We've had now 4 straight winning Saturdays. We won the last 2 nights in college football, including the game last night with Houston, had a big win with them, plus 16. They win going away. So you want to get involved. You get 3 weeks of action from now through Monday, December 5th. And remember, we got this weekend. We got the whole Thanksgiving weekend. So if you got a lot of relatives around and you want to have some fun, and then you got championship weekend, just go to ParamountSports.com. Coupon code SAVE100. Save $100, just $197 for 3 weeks, ParamountSports.com.
LSU, Florida. Florida can't score, Lee. Their offense is awful. LSU, I understand they don't have a quarterback, but they have weapons all over the field. This one's now in Baton Rouge, but that's a lot of points. Is that too many points for this game?
I don't think so. I think this Florida defense been out on the field for a lot of plays, and when you got to stay out on that field and your offense just not doing the job. I mean, they were up at one point 20-0, and it felt like they should have been up 45-0 last week. Now they'll face a defense that's playing their best ball. an offense that just punch you in the mouth with Fournette and Geis, the best 1-2 punch right now in the country. And Florida's red zone, even when they do get in the red zone, they just can't punch it in for touchdowns here. And Florida has avoided the SEC elite until this game here. And how about Ed Ogeron? Is he making a push for the job? 11-4 against the spread in his 2 stints as head coach at USC and LSU. And here's a little bit of news I'm hearing from Tallahassee. It looks like Jimbo Fisher wants the LSU job. The holdup right now, his ex-wife does not want to move to Louisiana. So he might have to pony up a few more $1 million if he wants to get her to move. So that's the word I'm hearing. I like LSU, though, here to pull away late, 31-13.
Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com, handicapper, talking this weekend and ball. Missouri, Tennessee, 16 points. I don't ever know what I'm going to get from Tennessee. Missouri's not any good. They beat Vandy last weekend.
They did. It might come down to the quarterbacks. Josh Dobbs having an okay season, 18 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I mean, there's some games he's great for a half and terrible in the second half, or vice versa. Drew Lock started hot, had a cold run. Now he's starting to play some good ball. 19 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions. And their run defense for Missouri is improving here. Just when you think UT's back in it, they usually let you down. I just can't trust Butch Jones as a game day coach here. I think Tennessee wins 40-28, but Missouri, they take the bacon.
All right, one more time before game of the week is Ole Miss and Vandy for our listeners. All right, so game of the week is Ole Miss and Vandy. It's moving a little bit, 10 points. Yep. It's in Nashville. Shea Patterson played great in the fourth quarter last weekend, and that defensive line dominated Texas A&M in the third and fourth quarter. Lee, Ole Miss, Vandy, game of the week.
Yeah, I mean, they found a quarterback. It's plain and simple for the next 3.5 years, so you got to be excited about that. And we're going to find out. These young quarterbacks, sometimes they can play 3 or 4 games in a row real strong out of the gate, or they stumble in that second game. So if you want to find out Ole Miss and Vandy for free, just call 800-400-9741. Going to be a great weekend, and we'll try to get together on Wednesday.
Cool.
To go over the Thanksgiving Day games and the games that weekend. So people, before they hit the road, we'll give them a little insight.
Yeah, all right, and it's coupon code SAVE100 on Paramount Sports.
Save $100. Comes out to just $197, ParamountSports.com.
And you said first 5 callers get the game?
First 5 callers,
yep. 1-800-400-9741, ParamountSports.com, Lee Sterling. Lee, have a great weekend, bud.
Thanks, Bo.
All right, how about that story on the guy taking the girl on a cigarette boat or whatever to the Bahamas for 2 weeks after winning a ton of dough? And he was a 4, and evidently she was a 9 or a 10. I love those stories. Live in the Bank Plus studio, Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Should we take a break here? All right, we have the 2 college football remedies. Man, we have 2 great college football remedies for you. A little bit of Shea Patterson, a little bit of Dak Prescott, a lot of Hail State and Ole Miss, fun stuff, great content from this week. Straight ahead, your SEC Insider hit, and you'll want to come back and hear the college football remedy. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. The Out of Bounds show is brought to you by Went McGee at Affordable Lending Group. 1% down, conventional programs, 100% loans, VA and USDA. He is the mortgage man. Went McGee will shop the best rates for you at Affordable Lending Group. Call Went McGee today, 601-906-7074.